From the heart of Africa to the Americas, from the Caribbean islands to the streets of Europe, a call echoes across the globe. A call not to one nation, not to one people, but to an entire civilization. A call to rise, unite, and reclaim what was stolen: land, dignity, identity, and power. This is the voice of a generation. This is the voice of Ibrahim Traoré, the young leader of Burkina Faso, who dares to speak truths the world often avoids. Ibrahim Traoré, born in a nation scarred by colonization and decades of political struggle, rose to power not through privilege, but through vision, courage, and action. He saw the chains that still bind Africa, not only from foreign powers, but from divisions among its own people. In July 2024, he declared to the world, "A slave who cannot assume his own revolt does not deserve to be pitied." Words that cut through centuries of silence. Words that remind us that freedom is not given, it is taken. That dignity is not granted, it is claimed. Traoré's rise is more than political, it is symbolic. It is the awakening of a new generation, a generation that refuses to wait for outsiders to define its destiny. Africa's story has been one of brilliance, innovation and conquest, but also of suffering, oppression and theft. Empires such as Mali, Songhai, and Great Zimbabwe flourished long before colonizers arrived. Africa gave the world knowledge, culture, and civilization, yet centuries of slavery and colonization sought to erase it. Traoré's words resonate because they are rooted in this history. They remind us that the fight for freedom is continuous, that liberation is more than a political act. It is an act of memory, of culture, and of identity. We remember leaders like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, men who dreamed of a united Africa and acted to reclaim dignity and sovereignty. Their struggle continues today through the voices of leaders like Traoré. Africa's story did not end at its shores. The African diaspora carries the same heartbeat, the same story of loss, resilience, and hope. From Haiti, where enslaved people rose and won the first Black Republic, to Brazil, where Afro-Brazilian communities preserved culture despite centuries of oppression, to the United States, where the civil rights movement demanded justice and equality. Africa's spirit lives in every descendant. Traoré speaks to all of us, not just to Africans on the continent, but to every Black person around the world. To the youth in London, Paris, New York, Kingston, to those in São Paulo, Havana, and Miami, his message is the same. We are one people, connected by history, culture, and destiny. He reminds the diaspora that reclaiming Africa is not nostalgia, it is action. It is culture, economics, education, and political solidarity. It is the global Black community recognizing its shared power. Land, dignity, identity, power, four pillars stolen from Africa. Colonization, slavery, and exploitation tried to strip nations of their wealth and people of their culture. But the spirit of Africa cannot be taken. It lives in our art, our music, our languages, and in our determination to survive. Traoré calls on us to reclaim not just physical land, but the pride in our history, the knowledge of our roots, and the confidence in our abilities. This reclamation begins in education, in preserving traditions, in celebrating the arts, and in supporting African communities worldwide. Reclaiming is not just symbolic, it is practical. It is about investment, innovation, and leadership that prioritizes our people over foreign agendas. It is about building a future where Africa and its diaspora are united, strong and self-determined. Traoré's message is a blueprint for unity. He urges every Black person, wherever they are, to rise from complacency and division, to see themselves as part of a global network of resistance, empowerment, and creation. Unity does not mean uniformity, it means solidarity. It means that an action in Brazil strengthens a community in Ghana, that a cultural celebration in the Caribbean inspires pride in the United States, that education in London ignites progress in Nigeria. We are stronger together. He calls on leaders, educators, artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday citizens to recognize that their work, their success, their voices are part of a greater movement, a movement to reclaim our power and identity. Across Africa, communities are reclaiming their heritage. Farmers are taking back land for sustainable agriculture. Entrepreneurs are building technology hubs that rival Silicon Valley. Artists are preserving languages, rituals, and music that were once suppressed. In the diaspora, organizations are reconnecting youth to Africa, teaching history, culture, and self-worth. These are the acts of reclamation that Traoré speaks of. Small actions that build a global foundation of power, pride, and self-determination. Traoré does not ask for applause. He does not ask for permission. He calls for action. The time for waiting is over. The time for unity is now. Rise, unite, reclaim. Rise from fear, from complacency, from divisions. Unite across continents, oceans, and cultures. Reclaim land, dignity, identity, and power. Every community has a role. Every voice matters. Every act of courage contributes to the movement. This is not a political slogan. It is a strategy for survival, growth, and liberation. Imagine an Africa and a global Black community united. Imagine trade, education, and culture flowing freely. Imagine nations working together, not as rivals, but as a powerful self-determined force. Imagine youth empowered to innovate, create, and lead. Traoré's vision is ambitious. Yes, difficult, certainly. But history shows that impossible victories are achieved when people believe, act, and refuse to be silenced. The future is not a dream. It is here, in our hands, in our minds, in our hearts. Ibrahim Traoré's message is a beacon, guiding the global Black community toward unity, pride, and reclamation. Rise, unite, reclaim. These are not just words. They are a call to arms, a call to action, a call to life. To every Black person, wherever you are, hear this call. Answer it, not tomorrow, not next year, but today. Because the power of our people, the strength of our culture, the unity of our global community is unstoppable when we stand together. Rise, unite, reclaim.